All right, hello and good evening. Welcome to Family Evening Devos. This week we are reading a story from the Jesus Storybook Bible, which I love for kids and young teenagers. I think it's really good. It's got lots of great pictures. So today we're going to be reading The Teeny Weeny True King. Samuel anoints David from 1 Samuel 16. God's people had a new land. Now they wanted a king. But God is your king, Samuel told them. He is the one who looks after you best. We want a real king, they said, one we can see. God knew that a king might not be kind to his people or look after them as well as he would, but God's people didn't care. They wanted a king and they wanted him now. So God gave them a king. He was called Saul, and he seemed like a good king at first, but he became proud and stopped listening to God. He didn't obey God or love God with his whole heart. Saul can't help me with my plan, God said. I need a king who loves me and will teach my people to love me. I need a true king. God had just the one in mind. Go to Bethlehem, God told Samuel. You will find the new king there. Samuel's job was to listen to God and then tell the people what God said. So Samuel went to the little town of Bethlehem. God told Samuel to go to Jesse's house. God was going to choose one of Jesse's sons to be the new king. Now, in those days, if you were going to be the king, you didn't have to be the richest or the cleverest, although that was nice. You had to look like a king, which meant you had to be the tallest or the strongest, so you could carry the longest swords, the biggest armor, and defeat everyone. And it didn't hurt to be handsome either. Jesse had 7 strong sons. Samuel asked Jesse to bring him each son in turn. So Jesse brought the oldest, tallest, strongest son. This must be the new king, Samuel thought. He looks like a king. God didn't choose him. You're thinking about what he looks like on the outside, God told Samuel. But I am looking at his heart, what he's like on the inside. So Jesse showed Samuel his oldest, tallest, strongest son, but God didn't choose him either. His next oldest, sorry. In fact, God didn't choose any of the 7 sons. Samuel said, "Is that all?" Jesse laughed. Well, there's the youngest one, but he's just the weakling of the family. He's only teeny. Bring him, said Samuel. Jesse's youngest son came running up, and God spoke quietly to Samuel. This is the one. His name was David. He has a heart like mine, God said. It's full of love, and he will help me with my secret rescue plan. And one of his children's children will be the king, and that king will rule the world forever. Samuel anointed David's head with oil, which was a special way to show that you are God's chosen king. You will be the new king one day, Samuel told him. And sure enough, when he grew up, David became the king. God chose David to be the king because God was getting ready for an even greater king who was coming. Once again, God would say, go to Bethlehem. You'll find the new king there. And there, one starry night in Bethlehem, in the town of David, 3 wise men will eventually find the new king. So I'm wondering if you have any things on your mind, friends, that might be things that you've thought were most important in the world or in your life, like new stuff or fun things to do or looking cool or acting cool. Well, it turns out God doesn't really care about any of that. God cares about what's in your heart and how you treat people. And maybe you can talk tonight as a family about ways you can focus on the things in your heart and things you may need to set aside that you are pretending matter more than the things in your heart. Parents, was there ever a time in your life where you got distracted by focusing on things that ultimately weren't what God wanted you to be focusing on? Maybe you could share a time or a story with your kids tonight. Enjoy your family devos and get ready for the week ahead in focused Bible time and prayer. See you next week.